ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਬ੍ਰਾਂਡ ਦਾ ਅੰਬ ਮੰਗਵਾ ਕੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਯੂਕੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਸ਼ਲ ਲਵਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਜਾਮਣੂ ਵੀ ਵਾਹ ਉਹ ਜਨੇ ਨੇ ਆ ਪੁੱਤਰ
Amar Food Stores, Al Mashoor, fresh halal meat and groceries. Address 613B Lincoln Road, Triangle, Peterborough. Telephone 01733 687374. Amar Food Stores, Meyar ka naam, Munasab Daam.
Bowel cancer screening saves lives. The NHS sends everyone aged 60 to 74 a free home testing kit every 2 years. Using this test is easy and hygienic. Ask your parents and grandparents whether they have completed their screening kit. Find out more by visiting Cambridgeshire and Peterborough ccg.nhs.uk and searching bowel cancer.
Did you know that over 361,000 children die every year due to lack of clean water? Clean water is not a luxury, but a basic human right. UKIM is working to end their suffering by providing clean and safe water. This Ramadan, make a difference. Provide clean and safe water with UKIM. For donations, call now or visit ukim.org.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salam Radio.
Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, and you're listening to Your Voice on Salam Radio with myself, Shaz Nawaz, and the one and only.
My name is Ansar Ali. Assalamu alaikum, and a very warm welcome to you on this Saturday afternoon to our Your Voice program. We want to hear your views on the topics that we have on discussion for you. So please make sure that you get in touch and go live on air.
Yes, and the ways to get in touch, you can call us on 01733 602 133. You can also text us on 07411 191062. We're also streaming live on Facebook, so you can comment there. You can see us through YouTube. You can contact us via Twitter or Twitch, or you can text Ansar Ali and myself, and we'll be more than happy to take any questions from you. As Ansar has said, the main purpose of this show really is to engage with you, to listen to your voice, to listen to your opinions, to see what you have to say on certain topics and subject matters. Today there are three things that we're going to talk about, but as always, we always broaden the horizons. But the three main topics we're talking about today are the posh football ground and its potential move to the embankment. To hear your views, do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Secondly, lockdown is due to finish the 19th of July. So we want to hear your views in terms of what you think will happen next, in terms of for the community, for businesses, for yourself, for the country, for travel. So anything you want to contribute towards that would be most helpful and most useful. And the third one, which is a topic I know very close to my co-host Ansar Ali, is public transport. And we want to hear from you in terms of, do you think we have adequate public transport? If not, what do you think needs to change? How should it change? Do we need better bus services? Do we need better transport facilities for people who want to bike, people walking around? All of that's incredibly important. Of course, during lockdown, we've seen more cyclists. We've seen people use parks more. We've seen people walking around more. So that's obviously had a positive impact on their health. But going forward, once we go back to normal, whatever normal may look like, what are some of the things you think ought to be happening? So get in touch. Like I said, you can call us on 01733 602 133. text us on 07411 191062 or comment via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or you can contact us directly. On that note, Ansar, what are your views or the things you've been hearing from people, in fact, more than your views, of what people are saying in terms of what should happen about the embankment and also the potential move for Posh from where they are right now? Because as you know, they've been promoted to the Championship division, which is fantastic. Everybody's delighted with that. But where next?
I think it's very important to have a well-supported local football club. We are all very proud of the Posh, Peterborough United football team, and last season they did so very well, getting promoted to the Championship, and we're so looking forward to making sure that they will stay there and hopefully go into the Premiership. But I think for a city like Peterborough, I think we cannot drop any lower than the Championship. So it's very important that the owners and the manager have all the resources, all the players at their disposal, so that we can maintain our place in the second lowest tier of football in English League. So that's very important for us. And Peterborough City needs a successful, thriving football club. As with regards to moving from London Road, it's been there for a very, very long time. I remember when I came into this country in 1969, that's where Posh played. And in my younger days, I used to go and watch them. And I've actually, Shaz, I've seen players like George Best, Bobby Moore, play on that pitch as well. So I've been very fortunate to see some of those international, well-known personalities play there. But with everything, like everything else, the football ground where it is at the moment, it isn't fit for purpose. That's what people are saying. It's not fit for purpose, and we need to have a new ground which is accessible, local. And in terms of what people's views about the embankment, I mean, that's a very large green space, as you know, by the river. We've got the university going there as well nearby, and there has been mixed reaction by members of the public, Peterborough people. Some think that we ought to preserve the green space, the embankment basically. We ought to be doing more with the river and attract more people to use that green area because it's good for our health. But there are others who think that the football club, the ground located there, would be of benefit as well. So really, it has been a mixed reaction. And today, it is an opportunity for our listeners. And I know many people who are listening to Islam Radio, they are also very passionate football supporters as well as cricket. I've just been watching the France game against Hungary, and I know most people are glued to the television watching the European Championships. But really, we want to hear from you. What are your views? Do you think the Peterborough United ground should be relocated from London Road to the embankment? What are your views? Or do you think the embankment should be preserved as a green space for the Peterborough residents to use? It's so very important when you buy the river. You know, it's very nice. It's a nice feeling on a nice summer day when the sun is shining, the ducks are roaming around, and where there are people in their long bouts as well, going by as well. So it's a nice area. We could probably do more vibrancy in that locality, basically. But really, you know, this is an opportunity. We call this program Your Voice for a reason, because we want to hear your voice, your views. These are pertinent topics for Peterborough people, for Peterborough residents as well. Or if you know Peterborough, if you've been here and you've got fond memories and you want to have a contribution, please give us a call. We are waiting for your calls, for your contribution, to hear your views. Is the embankment the right location for a new purpose-built Peterborough United football ground? Slam Radio wants to hear your voice right here on this program. Get in touch, please.
So while we wait to hear from people, you've had a few visits over the years at Posh. Do you have any fond memories you want to share with us when any games you watched? I know you've met Georgie Best and a few others. Of anything that happened which kind of sticks in your head?
Oh yeah, I mean when Noel Cantwell was the manager as well, there was a lot of interest. Basically, he was a very much a community-minded person, basically. And I think in those early days when I used to go and watch, football clubs were actually quite different to what we see them at the moment. They've become a big business now, basically. As you can see, what's happening in the footballing world at the moment. We won't go into too much detail on that one. But it really has become a money-making venture for many people, for the millionaires and the billionaires, basically. Football, in my opinion, is there to be enjoyed by the community. The fans, the football lovers must come first, basically, not making money out of TV rights, etc. So I think that's the first thing that I think that has changed. In those days when I used to watch in the 70s and 80s, basically, it was very much a community-minded football club. People thrived on supporting their football club. The attendances here at London Road were far greater as well for the matches as well. Now with the TV and things like that, and people are not, the attendances are a bit lower for a variety of reasons. But I think my memories, really, when I was sitting there in the stands, basically, George Best scored a fantastic goal from quite a distance away. And watching people like Chris Turner play there as well, the late Chris Turner, Robson, our own Peterborough legends, and Noel Cantwell getting us promoted on a couple of occasions as well. We were much lower at a time at times as well. So, it's been great to see our football club rising and getting into the championship. And, it was a big disappointment the last time when they were promoted, and we were only there, I think, for one season.
We're going to come on to that in a second, because that's an interesting observation that you make as well. But if Posh weren't successful in their objective to move to the embankment, and as I said earlier, in terms of people wanting more open space, more cyclists around now, more people going to the parks. I usually go to Central Park in Park Ward on a Saturday. I was there today, and it was vibrant. And I mean, it's not warm weather today, so you wouldn't expect it to be busy. The Willow Cafe was packed, people walking around, and lots of activity taking place. So we've got that green space. The counter argument from some people is, well, you've had that green space for a long time. It's not being utilized. When you go there, it's not very attractive. So even though it is valuable green space, at the moment it's left there pretty much neglected. So what would you like to see happening there to bring more life to it if we weren't to have a football stadium? So if people don't know, obviously you've got a university campus there. You'll have 3 buildings right now, 2 research centres and 1 teaching centre. Your objective is to have another 3 buildings over the years. In fact, a new application went in last week, you may not know, for a 3rd research centre. So if that gets approved by the government, I think that's a 23 to 25 million pound additional project. So there'll be quite a bit happening there from the university end. On the other side, where Posh proposed to have then new ground, what other things would you like to see happening? Either, obviously, you've got decades of experience of having been in Peterborough, of things that have happened from the past that could be reignited, or going forward, something different. What do you reckon?
We could have more events there, basically. I know we had a Mela there once as well, which was quite successful. And those sort of events to attract our diverse communities at that venue, I think could be very, very popular. It will attract local people. It would also create opportunities for people to mingle from different backgrounds, from different cultures. And that particular festival showcase would be extremely popular, I think. And many other cities up and down the country, Nottingham, not far away from here, have a very successful annual fairs, annual festivals, showing the cultural life of their city, the diversity of their city. And I think we could do something like that in Peterborough at the embankment. So that's one opportunity that we could utilize. We could use the river more. I think another news item that I saw, that I think there was an application that was made. I think it's been approved actually. I mean, I need to have a look again for a paddling pool, basically, some sort of boating business to be established there. And I think that would be good as well. You know, people like to, you know, go and do a bit of rowing. You know, if you go to Cambridge, you know, they have lots of activities like that. And I think that will also enable the students at the university to get involved in some of those activities. So I think we could actually make more use of the river with things like that. I mean, not far from here, in Spalding, when I used to work there, I remember the introduction of the water taxi. You know, and actually that was sponsored by a local business. They really didn't, apart from the council being the facilitator and an enabler, and I was very much involved in that project. And, you know, people used that, you know, water taxi quite a lot, because people do like having a ride in a boat, and not everyone can go on a cruise in the sea and enjoy our waterways, basically. And I know a lot of people. I know one of my friends, Leonie, she's actually bought a boat now, basically a long boat, and she spends a considerable amount of time there. It's a very healthy lifestyle, basically. But, you know, being near the water, near the seaside, etc., it also is healthy for us as well. So any activities that will improve our lives, make our communities healthier, we should be looking forward to establishing, encouraging those sort of activities as community leaders, as the local authorities. That's what we need to do. So again, you know, I would stress that the purpose of this program is to hear from our listeners as well what they would like to see happening. I've mentioned a couple of things already, and would like to hear from them if they've got any particular views, any opportunities that they think that the Peterborough public and people from beyond should be we should be making available to them.
Well, we've gotten a message from Lee Taylor on Facebook, who says, I agree. I don't think it should be moved to the embankment. It's such a lovely area, and we need to bring some boats, which is what you said earlier, cafes, shops to the embankment to make it a better place, is I assume what he's trying to say. And you're right, we had a Mela there in the past. I think you were there. I was there, definitely. Yeah. We've had fairs in different places. Possibly there would be a good idea. And I think also we've got, obviously, Ferry Meadows, which is well used, a nice park. We've got Central Park in Park Board. But having some kind of a park there where people could, when they go shopping perhaps, or before they go shopping, take their families there, have a picnic, have a walk around, feed the ducks and the swans. So those kind of activities being promoted, I think, would work incredibly well. And that's what a lot of people are asking for. But what's interesting is, and again, it'd be interesting to hear your views as well, is I'm finding half the people I talk to are in favour, yes, and the other half aren't. Okay, it's a 50-50 split. A little bit like Brexit, and we don't talk about Brexit now, as you know. But so it's interestingly a 50-50 split, which is good. But I've had another observation from somebody who says that Peterborough City Council are commissioning a master plan for the embankment, but this has been very slow in coming. Before any detailed proposals of the stadium are produced, there should be an overarching strategy for the area and development undertaken, and that needs to happen through a master plan. It seems though things are being done the wrong way around, i.e. possible planning application first and master plan later. And obviously you've got lots of experience of being in local government, and as you've said, we want to hear from our listeners as well, and they can call in by calling 01733 602 133 or text us on 07411 191062 or comment via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, as Lee Taylor had kindly done. And we want to hear what you think, because that's extremely important to us. But in terms of a master plan and your experience of being in local government, for those who don't understand that, and I'm not talking about let's go into the wide depths of planning, but usually you have a master plan for these larger developments, and that's not forthcoming here, and that's making a lot of people anxious, rightly so. And what would you add to that, based on your experience as a former local government officer?
Absolutely. I think it's very important, because I think, society is changing. And, particularly, the way as we come out of this pandemic, last year and a half, it's been very tough for everyone. And, we have to rethink the way that we deliver services, the way that we meet the needs of our communities. I think that there has got to be some radical changes made. But I think one of the most important and the fundamental things that we must always remember, that local authority is here to serve the people, the residents basically, and the businesses basically, who generate and support the economy basically. So the council taxpayers are very important. People who live and work and visit Peterborough are very, very important players in this basically. So we as community leaders, as a local authority in the council, what needs to happen is that we need to have a vision. That where do we want Peterborough to be in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years' time? And I think we need to work that out, have a proper strategy to actually move us forward. I think, nothing can be set in stone, but if we have a generic plan that this is the sort of things that we like to see in Peterborough at the embankment, then I think that would encourage people to participate more, and it will also encourage people who may want to come and set up businesses, etc., to come to Peterborough and look at opportunities, basically, if we had a long-term vision. So my advice to my colleagues, our City Council colleagues, would be to look at the long-term vision, and have some focus groups, etc. Once we come out of the pandemic, there are opportunities that we can engage with the public as well, and basically put something together. We need to take the lead, basically. We can't just allow other people to come in and suggest things that, oh, we could be doing this. The local authority should be facilitating a process through which we develop a plan where we want to create a vibrant, progressive city, which is not just a pride and joy for the people who live here, but people want to come and visit our city as well. So I think it should be a 10, 20, half a century. There's nothing wrong with having aspirations, and let's set those aspirations out in a plan, in a vision, so that people know what we're about, basically. And that's very important as far as I'm concerned.
So saying having a plan is important, but also taking people on that journey, because the residents are hand in glove part of what happens, not just obviously at the embankment, but throughout any big plans.
One of the things that makes people fed up of local authorities and public sector generally, they think that their views are ignored, basically. And I think what we need to do is to ensure that people feel that their views are valued, their views are going to be counted, taking into consideration, and make sure that we feed back to our residents and our businesses as well. It's very important. We ought to be transparent in everything we do. We got nothing to hide, basically. We shouldn't, no local government or central government should have anything that should be totally, there are certain things that central government has to do. They have to be confidential. We need to respect that, basically. But there are, in terms of taking our communities, our cities forward, we should be engaging with our public as well. And when we don't, that's when a lot of apathy apathy comes in. People become disenfranchised, disinterested, basically, and they feel, well, there's no point in bringing up, calling, sending an email, contributing to a consultation, because no one will take any notice.
Say that all the time, obviously.
Yeah.
And, sometimes, unfortunately, those similar comments are towards the police, as if there's no point calling up because nothing ever gets done. So basically, people want you to do things with them, not to them.
Absolutely.
Okay, one final observation, because we've had a good conversation, we've had good engagement. Somebody else pointed out to me, which was the height of the stadium. So they're saying that they believe that the height of the new stadium will be 8 stories high, which is very high, and the university building on the northern part of the embankment, 3 stories high, and a heritage impact assessment has been prepared to demonstrate that the minimal impact on the setting of the cathedral. So it shouldn't go higher than 3 stories. And they're saying it's likely that the height and bulk of a new stadium will have a very detrimental effect on the stadium and on the cathedral views, particularly the open fine views across the green open space. That's going to be detrimental to our nationally renowned cathedral. So there are some strong views here from people about they feel obviously we've also been talking about it should move to the embankment. So in terms of Posh staying in the Championship and possibly moving up to the Premier League, why do you think we've not been able to do that on a regular basis, and when we do go up we end up coming down very quickly?
Well, I think these days football has become very competitive, basically. I mean, they are, they're owned by people with a bit of money, basically. And, when people invest money, you will know better than I do, investors want to see their return, basically. And it's football, rather than becoming something to be enjoyed and cherished, basically, it has become business, basically. And what it needs is basically for someone who owns the club with a large amount of money to invest in new players, etc. What Peterborough United have been doing in the past, we've had some local homegrown talent that has come through the ranks, basically, when they've actually established a name in either League One or in the Championship. The bigger clubs have come in and they've actually offered to pay big bucks, basically.
So you're making reference to your beloved Manchester City, and you want to see something like that happening, which is a very interesting conversation. In fact.
We could talk about that.
We are going to pick up on that because we're just about to go towards a break. So thank you to everybody who's contributed so far. It's always better when we hear from you. We're going towards a very short break, and after the break we'll pick up on Ansar Ali, Man City and Peterborough United.
Stay right where you are. See you shortly.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Everyone can now get free rapid COVID-19 tests twice a week. They show your results within 30 minutes. They also show you're doing what you can to protect your loved ones, your friends, your workmates, and that you want to keep life moving again. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be a friend, a relative, a workmate. It could even be you. Rapid tests are easy to get from nhs.uk/get tested. Let's take this next step safely.
Looking to improve your living space? Plan your dream home with AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms. We design, manufacture and install your perfect kitchen or bedroom to your personal space and taste, with clever storage utilising every inch. We pride ourselves on our exquisite attention to detail. Let AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms plan your perfectly tailored space, fitted around you. We also offer bespoke services for understairs storage, TV units and feature walls, all designed and manufactured by us. Call us now on 01733 686 767 or visit abjkitchensandbedrooms.co.uk. Open to the trade and public. AB Joinery Kitchens and Bedrooms, Unit 3 Brassy Close, Peterborough, PE1 2AZ. Plan your dream home with us. abjkitchensandbedrooms.co.uk.
Bowel cancer screening saves lives. The NHS sends everyone aged 60 to 74 a free home testing kit every 2 years. Using this test is easy and hygienic. Ask your parents and grandparents whether they have completed their screening kit. Find out more by visiting Cambridgeshire and Peterborough ccg.nhs.uk and searching bowel cancer.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Desi Restaurant is open, so why not order now for your family meal tonight? We've got fish pakora, chicken pakora, charga steamed chicken, lamb and vegetable samosas, biryani, pizza, faluda, jalebi, gulab jamun, samosa chaat, fresh chicken and lamb handi, Lahori channa and much more. We've got it all at Desi Restaurant. Special offer, Niari Opaya with 1 naan or roti only £6. Special lunchtime offer from noon to 4 p.m. Chicken or lamb curry and 2 roti only £6. Mixed veg curry or tarka dal and 2 roti only £5. Order now at desirestaurantonline.com and pay online safely, or call us on 01733 555 795. Delivery available, or you can collect for a 10% discount. 298 Lincoln Road, Peterborough, PE1 2ND. Desi Restaurant, the trusted family favourite in Peterborough.
Visit our website salamradio.co.uk.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Your Voice with me, Ansar Ali and Shaz Nawaz. Delighted to have your company. We've been having quite a discussion on these pertinent topics that impact upon us all, basically. And we should all have a view. Never shy away from expressing your opinion or your view, because every opinion, every view matters. And, as long as it's done in a polite, respectful way, and we're encouraging contributions from our listeners in all the discussion that we have. It's a live interactive program. We've called it Your Voice for a reason, because we want to hear your voice on the topics that we have for discussion, because having opinions and being able to express those is very important. And what we are trying to do here is not to try to catch you out, but trying to build your confidence. I'm not saying that you don't have the confidence. Please forgive me. I'm not being condescending in any way or whatsoever. But there are a lot of people within our community, very intelligent, have got lots of great ideas, some fantastic views. They feel passionate about the issues, the everyday issues that you and we are faced with about life in the city of Peterborough and beyond, the issues, the challenges that impact upon us. Lots of intelligent people have views, and when you talk to them one-to-one, they will express them very eloquently. What we are trying to encourage, yes, that's great, but please express them whenever you get an opportunity on any talk shows, because we as Muslims sometimes, this program, the contributions are welcome from everyone. Basically, please, there's Islam Radio is here to serve everyone, bringing communities together. But there are certain communities where that confidence is lacking, and we are trying to encourage those sections of our community who are maybe their grandparents made this city their home 50, 60, 70 years ago. They don't feel that they have the same level of confidence. We want to build your confidence. So please, not party political any way or shape, not personal on anyone at all, with respect, express your views. Very, very important. And we have been talking football about the potential move of Peterborough United football ground from London Road to the Embankment. And what we've seen in the media over recent months, opinion has been quite split on both ways. Yes, we should have a stadium there, or no, we shouldn't. We should keep the Embankment as a green space. Salam Radio here this afternoon is giving you an opportunity to have your say on your voice.
And in order to do that, you can call us on 01733 602 133 or text us on 07411 191062. And of course, with social media, you can comment via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. And as Ansar has said, we want to hear your views because that's extremely important to us. And while people are thinking about and hopefully looking to engage, like some people have earlier this afternoon, we were talking about Peterborough staying in the Championship and moving up to the Premier League, which is a dream that I've had for a very long time. And you were sharing, obviously, and not directly, but I think you've been a long-standing supporter of Man City, and most people may not know that, by the way. And I know it stems over 35, 40 years. So you've seen the dark days, and now you've seen the glory days. So are you saying that we need more financial investment in the club?
Well, let me correct you. Let me as far as Manchester City is concerned, I have seen some glory days in the past as well, okay?
That's before my time.
Some glory days in the past as well. And I have to admit, I'm not going to go into detail as well. Yes, I was a very passionate supporter of Manchester City since the late 1969, when I went to, I think it was early 70, when I went to watch one of their games at the Main Road Old Stadium, okay? That's when I was a young lad, just recently arrived in this country, and I went on a trip, and since then, I've just been quite passionate about Manchester City until recent times, and for the reasons that will remain within me, I'm not, I love football, I love watching football as well, but I'm not particularly fond of any one football club anymore, for the reason that will remain with me. I have some observations, some reservations about Manchester City at the moment, which will remain with them. They're not going to go public on Salam Radio, but I enjoy football, and like I said, I watched the game earlier as well. But, the sad thing is that it has become a business, a plaything for the billionaires.
But I hope you still support Posh, though. As
a
Peterborough.
I will always support my local football club, and I'm very passionate, and like I said, I used to go and watch Posh quite regularly as well, and I would like to see them do well. I want to see a successful football club, because there are many good reasons to have a successful football club. As someone who wants to see a successful city, a thriving city, having lived there for over half a century, and I just want to make sure that Peterborough United doesn't lose the sight of the fans, the community out there. That's something that I'm more passionate about. It should be a community-minded football club, and every club in every city and town should remain that way.
On that note, in fact, and if you're really nice to me, for a change, by the way, I might take you to a game of football when Posh obviously restart the season. But that
I'm looking forward to that
remains to be seen, because you have to be nice, though. But Posh have a lot of support, though. So I went there a few weeks ago, quite a few weeks ago, in fact, and to do a walk around, and I've been there quite a few times, and we used to use that particular
Yeah.
venue for when we used to run events, even at the Knoll Cantwell Suite, and every single box is sold out.
Yes, yes, oh, yeah.
They've got tables there of 5 people, taken by businesses, all sold out. I mean, I used to have a season ticket. I think I was paying £650 or £700. This is going back 8 or 9 years, which is a lot of money to pay for one of the lower league teams like Peterborough United. But still, the stadium was pretty much packed out. So talking about support from the community, I think Posh has a lot of fantastic support, a lot of loyal supporters who want to do the team, who want to see the team do well. The city wants to see the team do well, and of course we know all the benefits. But I think we've spent a lot of time on Posh. It's a very important part of the city, and the conversation was important as well. Now let's move on to something different.
Shaz, if I can just say one other thing.
Of course you can.
As the discussions on the embankment are as they're going on, and there are going to be opportunities for you as members of the community, residents, businesses in Peterborough to have your say. I know you haven't probably shied away from making that contribution. Some people have, but some haven't. But please make sure you express your views when you get that opportunity. That's the message that we want to try and get to you. Do make your views known to the authorities at the appropriate time when the Peterborough public is asked to contribute. Please do so.
Yeah, that's extremely important because obviously you and I, in a different guise, represent people, and sometimes we're told that certain sections, subsections, areas, sectors of the wider community aren't happy with something, and then when you and I go there and talk to officers, they say, well, it's surprising you say that. We already had 1 or 2 emails, and you're saying a large number of people are upset or disappointed with this. We've not had any contact from anybody apart from those 1 or 2 emails. So you're absolutely right. People need to share their views through their elected representatives, but go even further and obviously comment through social media on the council website when there are certain articles published, but also email officers so that their views can be heard. Now, moving on from that, which is obviously a very important point that you've made, is lockdown's been incredibly difficult. Lots of lives lost. Okay, and then people looking forward to lockdown being lifted on the 21st of June. We're now being told it's been postponed or delayed by 4 weeks to the 19th of July due to this Indian variant of the Delta variant for different reasons, which we won't go into today because that's outside the scope of our conversation. But people are looking forward. Some who wanted to get married, say 15, 16 months ago, haven't been able to get married. Lots of people have lost loved ones, family, friends, neighbours. I know you and I have both had those experiences, and it's been very difficult. But as we come out of lockdown, what do you see as some of the challenges we are going to face as a city and some of the opportunities that we have to kind of make the most of being united and coming together after such a long, hard and arduous time?
Our thoughts are with all those families who have been directly affected either by the illness itself, the disease itself, and some people have got through it, alhamdulillah, which is good, and many people that we know have lost loved ones as well, as we have within our own families as well. Our thoughts and our du'as are with you all, basically, everyone listening to this program and beyond, everyone who's been affected in any way. Yes, it has been very challenging, very difficult. And I suppose there are certain communities, and alhamdulillah, within the Muslim community, Asian community, we are quite fortunate because some of those traditions of extended families living together are still prevalent within many of the families. That's why people extend their homes and they've got big houses and what have you. And that has been very helpful. You know, Shaz, from a personal point of view, and I don't want to make it personal, there were things happening within my own family about my son moving out and, me and my wife staying where we were. And in the end, we didn't. We are living with our son and grandchildren. And when I reflect upon the decision that we made, it had to be a collective decision that, okay, we will move with our eldest son and our grandchildren. We did. And then soon after that, not many months after that, the lockdown came. And, when I talk to people, I read the press, the media, etc., the loneliness and the mental impact that the lockdown has had on many people, many lives, has been, devastating. The thought of it, to be honest with you. And I feel blessed that we took that decision, and every morning we used to wake up, couldn't go out, but you had the grandchildren, they were making a bit of noise, a bit of racket, and alhamdulillah, that used to liven things up, basically, that there was some sign of life, there were people, there was some human interaction. But just imagine if you are an elderly person living on your own, it's locked down, you can't go out anywhere, and you just, okay, we're making phone calls, and these days with social media and, being able to communicate by video calls and what have you, there are those opportunities. But Shaz, as you would know, and many of our listeners, there is no substitute than looking at a person, that human contact, okay? There's no substitute for that, basically. And a lot of people, by missing out on that, they've ended up with mental health. So I think one of the first things we as a society will have to contend with is how to deal with those issues of mental health within our communities, within our families, within our neighborhoods, and local government, central government has to take some responsibility for dealing with that. So I think that has got to be, the health of our communities has got to be the top priority.
I think you're absolutely right there. And from my own experience, when we were able to come out of the first lockdown, then go out to see people, talk to people, because as you know, we do those regular surgeries. And initially I was apprehensive as I'm knocking people's doors and talking to them. What are people going to say? Because they're still obviously, the virus is still around us, no vaccine. And I can tell you, the overwhelming number of people, in fact, not a single person complained or said, okay, why are you coming around? And you're right, a lot of people were pleased, especially of a certain age, who hadn't seen their family, nobody had come around to talk to them, and they were extremely lonely. So that 2, 4, 5, 7-minute conversation, okay, really cheered them up. It is incredible, and you're right. Obviously, the adverse effects of that in terms of mental health and all the other issues, which you and I obviously aren't qualified to talk about, but we hear about those, is going to be enormous and very difficult. But looking at coming out of lockdown, my observation so far is that I think from an economic point of view, because people spend a lot of time talking about the economy, I think we're going to have a boom, because wherever I go, whoever I talk to, it's in Peterborough, small local businesses, medium-sized, even the larger ones. Again, I'm generalizing, but the overwhelming feedback I get is everybody is extremely busy. So prices are going up for things because the demand is higher than the supply. Now that's partly possibly linked with some of the challenges we've had through the virus in terms of supplies. Brexit's probably had an impact. When there's so many things going on, it's difficult to quantify the exact one thing that's having an impact. But I think we're going to have a spike in the economy. What's your view on that?
I certainly hope so, because I think, I've seen and heard and spoken to some people who have a slightly different view. Businesses have suffered adversely due to the lockdown, etc. Some people have lost their jobs as well. So there are some people who have suffered quite a lot. We as a society have paid a heavy price for this lockdown, for the pandemic. But in the end, I think whatever views we may have, protecting our communities, ourselves, those around us, has got to be of paramount importance, basically. Economy and losing jobs, etc., it comes in secondary in that equation, basically. Very important that we actually protect and preserve lives wherever we can, basically. So I think in that sense, we ought to do everything we can. But I think, on both ways, those businesses who are doing well, we wish them success. And we hope that those who have suffered adversely because of the lockdown, because of the pandemic, we hope that new opportunities come your way, inshallah, and you are successful, you are thriving, and you are making a contribution to society, not just for yourselves and for your own benefit, for the benefit of those around you, in your families, your neighborhood, your community, your city, for the world. Because Salam Radio is here for a purpose. We're here to promote our wonderful, beautiful religion of Islam, which gives the message of peace, love, and harmony. It is about giving charity. It's about helping those who are less fortunate than ourselves. It's about standing up for those who are suffering. And what we need to do is, as a humanity, we need to come together and we need to show that we care for each other, regardless of the differences of religion, of belief or no belief. It doesn't matter whether someone believes in the same religion as you, comes from the same culture, speaks the same language, some ethnicity. That should not matter. We are human beings and we should protect each and every human life, and we should go to the aid of each and every human being suffering, not just locally, nationally, but internationally. So we have that responsibility as individuals. I'm sorry to be saying that, but I think it's very important. We have become a divisive society, basically. We have become a selfish society. We just want to protect our own. We want to see me doing well, our families doing well, my children. But I think, brothers and sisters, the message of Islam is you should want for your fellow brothers or sister as what you want for yourself, your own offsprings, basically. So please have that vision in your mind. That is the message of Islam. Forgive me, I'm not a scholar, and if I've offended anyone in any way, please forgive me. Life is short. I don't come here to offend anyone, but all I'm trying to promote is basically, brothers and sisters, as we come out of the pandemic, we need, if it's one thing that is taught us, you talked about losing our loved ones as well. We as a community, when someone used to pass away, we used to go and perform a janaza. It's a community thing. Hundreds of people used to gather there, and for several days we used to sit on masjids, make dua, read Fatiha, grieve with the families, give them that support. And we haven't been able to do that, basically, during the lockdown for the right reasons. I'm not criticizing anyone, basically. We've not been able to do that. And I think as we come out of that, basically one of the first things, I think you and we talked about this quite a lot. When we are free to do so, there's a long list of people we need to go and visit and spend that 5 minutes where we've not been able to do that, read Fatiha, for their loved ones, basically, and just be there and, embrace them. Embrace them. That's what we used to do. So I think as we come out of the lockdown, brothers and sisters, take that opportunity. And, if we have fallen out with someone, over something very, very minor, please forgive them. life is too short to be holding grudges, basically. So, yeah, sorry.
That's fine, no, absolutely fine.
Quick answer to your question, as we come out of lockdown, I've got a long list of people that I need to go and visit locally and maybe around the country.
So that means I'll be driving you around for the next few weeks after
inshallah,
lockdown.
inshallah,
okay,
inshallah.
okay. I'll book that in my diary.
May you live long and prosper.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Amin. And I think a final point, I was at as I said earlier, I was at Central Park today, and Moeez from Parker was there, encouraging people to take the vaccine. And we know there's still a lot of hesitancy from certain communities, and I don't want to pinpoint one particular community, because although I have the data, I don't think it's right to do that here. But the overall take-up rate in Peterborough is not as high as some of the other cities in and around the UK, which is, from my point of view, worrying. So just for the record, I've had the first vaccine. My second one is booked to take place in August. So if you're happy, and at the risk of embarrassing you, if you want to share whether you've had both vaccines or not, and what your view on that is, very quickly, before we move into the last short segment of talking about transportation.
I've had both my jabs, and I've said this before as well here on this program, and when I was doing some programs during the month of Ramadan as well. Please, on everything else that we do, we go and see our medical experts, our GPs, our doctors. We have people within our communities, take their advice as well. But it's very important, general advice seems to be, in order to protect ourselves and those around us, we should get the vaccination, both the jabs as well. So I've had mine. I'm encouraging my family to go and get vaccinated. So I'm not going to sit here on Islam Radio and discourage anyone. I would encourage people to take the vaccinations. That seems to be the advice of the medics, of the professionals, and I would encourage that. And I'm sad to hear that the take-up rates in Peterborough are much lower in comparison to many other cities up and down the country. Brothers and sisters, it's very important, because I think when you look at it in terms of traveling abroad, etc., there are a lot of things that are being discussed at the moment. You would know better than I, and we need to be mindful of that. If we need to travel out of the UK because of for family reasons, and if we've not been vaccinated, there may well be some issues as a result of that. I don't know, but think very, very clearly when you make that important decision. I would say, when the opportunity arises, take the vaccination.
Thank you very much. Well, we've had two very lengthy conversations.
I think the next one will have to wait until the next program.
We're going to have to park up transport for 2 weeks' time, and at the same time, what we'll do is we'll pick up on this vaccine conversation, because you've opened up, I think, something interesting, which will engage people, but also give us an opportunity to be able to share some more information with people, because obviously you and I have direct access to the health department or public health at the council, and I think it's important to share that information. And on that note, Suleiman Hussein Qureshi says you made a very good point, so he's on board with you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everybody who's joined us. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's always good to hear your views. And until 2 weeks' time, take good care of yourself, your family, your friends, your neighbours, and everybody around you. Assalamu alaikum.
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.